Hello and welcome to Knit All the Yarn podcast. My name is Lisa and I live in Michigan with my husband and my kiddos. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as 72 Stitches. And this is episode 236. I got my coffee in my Scrappy Knitting Queen mug today. And guess what? We have pumpkin spice creamer. So, funny story about the pumpkin spice. Christmas was Monday, and my mom surprised me with some pumpkin spice creamer for Christmas. So I had 2 bottles of that. I was so excited. And then I got groceries Wednesday. And guess what's at my grocery store that hasn't been there for like a month and a half? They must have got like the last shipment in or something, or or maybe it wasn't back there a long time, because like in the back, because the expiration date had April on it. So I'm like, that's weird. And it was clearance at that point, so I bought 3 bottles. So now I have 5. Some expire in March, and the others expire in April. So I am all set for the whole winter. Possibly March or April it'll be gone. I don't know how long one bottle lasts. It seems like a long time, but I have pumpkin spice creamer again. High five. Today is December 29th, 2023. That's the last time I could say 2023. This is the last episode of the year. I can't believe it. This is my YouTube channel where I share my knitting, crocheting, cross stitch, whatever crafty thing I'm up to. I forgot to say that. Also, I've been meaning, nobody's asked me about this, but when I rewatch my videos, I believe it's that side. I don't know if you'll be able to see it today. Usually there's this white little box, like right there-ish. And that is the door to our attic, if anybody was curious. Sometimes I see it, sometimes I try to like not put it in the screen, but I mean, when I'm recording on my iPad, and I can't see it in the screen right now, but when I rewatch it, I'm like, oh, there it is. I wonder if anybody's gonna ask about that. So that's what that is, if you were curious. I have 2 finished objects and 2 whips. That's it. Though I think I might have a new cast on for New Year's Day. I haven't really decided. We'll talk about that later. Yeah, that's it. 2 whips, 2 FOs. My throat is not awake yet. Reading and washing. And I have no stash. No acquisitions, but I do have a potential next cast on. I'm not sure yet. I'm still thinking about it. I'm thinking about my next sock project, which I need to hurry up and think about it because I'm almost done with my sock whip. All right. Oh, also, one more admin-y thing that I forgot to mention. I have decided that I'm going to do 2 year-long knit-alongs. We'll see if this is a good idea. Both of these are over in my Ravelry group, which will be linked down below with everything else that I talk about today. One is Knit All the Scraps, which is pretty self-explanatory. Just get your scraps together and make something. Doesn't matter, it could be knit or crochet. Whips are allowed, so if you're working on your blankets, keep on working on your blankets. If you got a beautiful advent calendar and you're like, I want to make a shawl, that counts. Mini skeins count. advent calendars count as scraps in my mind, but maybe not for others. But I'm allowing advent calendars of any kind, 24, 12, swaps, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, there's no requirement for size. Make whatever you want. If you want to make cozies, if you want to make sweaters, go for it. This is a year-long knit-along. It ends December 31st, 2024. And the rules will be over there in my Ravelry group. I have a chatter thread open. I don't have the FO open yet because it's not even the first yet. It'll be the first when you're watching this. So I will put it in the FO thread at some point. The other knit along, I'm not sure I'm going to get as much traffic. Is that the right word? Excitement. I'm not sure about this one, but I'm going to do it anyway because I need motivation to do this. I'm doing it for my own sake, and if people want to join, go for it. This is going to be a knit all the MKALs, and that one has a little more specific rules. It has to be a Stephen West mystery knit along. Over in my Ravelry group, I leave a link to, he has a bundle of all of his MKAL patterns, which I thought was like, thank you, Stephen, so I don't have to go hunting for them. That is linked in the chatter thread. I have a link to. So you're like, what's a Stephen West MKAL? So they're all listed for you down there in that link. Yeah, that's the only specifications. It has to be a Stephen West MKAL. And if you like change it a little bit, because I know like some people like to do their own modifications, I am okay with modifications. And same thing if you don't want to do brioche and you do his other version, that is fine too. You don't have to do what he says in the pattern. If there's something you want to change, as long as I can like recognize that it is one of his MKALs, I'm okay with it. And it could be Scrappy, it could be yarn in your stash. You can buy yarn if you want. What else? Yeah, I think that's it. And that one also ends December 31st, 2024. Randomly throughout the year, I might draw for pattern prize winners throughout the year, maybe quarterly. The Stephen West one, I'm not so sure because I don't know how much people I'm going to get to participate. There's only like 3 or 4 people. I don't know. Maybe I'll just give them all patterns. Say, good job. Also, that one, if you have an MKAL that's a whip that you haven't finished, that counts. So if you have some MKAL whips sitting in the whip pile and you want to finish it, here is your motivation to do that. And also, when the new one comes up in October, I am going to allow that also. Any MKAL. So, yeah, I think that's it. All the rules will be over in my Ravelry group, but I'm really excited about the knit all the scraps. That I'm like, this has to be a year-long knit along. And hopefully people will still like, I know sometimes with year-long knit alongs, people get like really excited in the beginning, and then like June, they're like, what Cal? What knit all the scraps? And then it could just kind of go stale. So I'll try to talk about it on my podcast every once in a while. So if I have new people, and just to remind you to knit all the scraps. All right, I think that's it. I won't be talking like full detail every single time, every single video either. So if you have any questions, let me know and I will answer them either on the next video or through the YouTube comments. And speaking of MKALs, this isn't an MKAL, but this is a Stephen West. This was my first Stephen West pattern. This is the Vertices Unite. And it is made with Felici, R.I.P. Felici. This is probably my most favorite Stephen West shawl of all time. I wear this all the time. And I did a I-cord stripey border. I-cord border with stripes, black and white. I think it's probably Stroll, black and white, Knit Pick Stroll. I haven't worn this in a while because I'm still kind of like, every time I see Felici or, you know, see Felici in my stash or see something I made with Felici, I get sad because it was my all-time favorite commercial stripey, self-striping yarn, and it's RIP, gone. Please bring them back, Knitpicks. Please. I don't like your new Felici Eenie or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, we won't talk about that anymore. Okay. I think that's my spiel. I told the date. Since this is the 29th, next episode I will give you all my yearly stats and my stash down goals. Or my stash down stats, not goals. Stats is what I was looking for. Because we still have 3 days left, and I think I can squeak in one more finished object. So that's why we're not going to do that. If I was like not even close to having a finished object, I would have told you today, but I think I can get one more in. So let's get started. Finish object number 1. I finished my Freckled Whimsy Advent Skein. Thought there was, it's not a hole, it's just a little blip. Once they get blocked, it'll be okay. So yep, these are my Freckled Whimsy Advent Skein for 2023. I used heels, toes, and cuffs in Lolo Did It Folsom. Also, all of my socks. We're going to talk about 3 pairs today. They're all the same pattern and needles and whatnot, so I'll say that right now. They are all US 1.5, which is a 2.5 millimeter. 64 stitches, 12 rows of 2x2 rib, minus 1 pair. 1 pair is 15. And they are all the Vanilla Sock on Magic Loop by Kay of Their Crazy Sock Lady. Love them. So this one I had to do like 3, I think I had to knit 3 rows extra before I started doing my toe decrease. It was like just close. It was really close. So I managed to do all 24 stripes. I have 12 for my leg, 12 for my foot. I probably could have done like 13 for my foot, but I just decided to do, I mean, because each stripe is like 5 rows. So maybe 1 stripe would have been too many, but. So here they are. Love them. Thinking about getting DK next year. Well, I'm not sure because I think the DK stripes are thicker. Or because it's thicker yarn. I don't know if they're the same. Like I'm getting 5 to 6 rows. If they're 5 to 6 rows with DK stripes, they're gonna go to my knees. So, I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I guess I have a while to think about it. But so either that or they'll just be mismatched, and I'll just, you know, I'll make the leg a little bit longer than I normally do, and then I just won't worry about having exactly 24 stripes in each sock. That is also a possibility. Won't match. I don't know yet. Still thinking about it. But here we are. Finish object number 1. And these ones, oh my. I was working on these on Christmas. I didn't finish them. I thought I was going to finish these on Christmas Eve. It didn't work. It didn't happen. But I finished them like, I think it was Tuesday. They don't match. They're really close. Really close. Like, maybe like 4 or 5 rows off, but I don't care. And I was working on these at Christmas, and my mom's like, ooh, I like those. I had one done at that point, I think. I was working on the second sock, and I'm like, well, that's good, because I was making them for you. You know, I was a little, you know, deep down, I was like, if she doesn't like these, I'm keeping them. But it's okay, because I have a whole nother ball of this. So I had a feeling she would like it. She likes blues and teals. This is a Regia. Color number 03657, which I believe is Summer Nights. So yeah, I really love these. I love them so much. I started at the cuff and I just went all the way down. I did not cut my yarn to do the inside of the ball like I normally do for my heel. I just kept going, and it was fine. I mean, it's busy enough that you can't really tell. The striping sequence is so long, so I was just like, nope, I'm just gonna keep going, because I'm like, from here, this is the same as this. So it was like almost the whole leg was one repeat. Like, dang. So at that point, I'm like, nope, we're just gonna knit them. And I think they're beautiful. Love it. So yes, I have a ball of this in my stash for me. Maybe next Christmas I will, maybe this will be another like Christmas yarn I put in my, though I don't know. I'm not gonna put this in my Christmas box of socks. I would love to wear these all winter. So maybe I'll knit them at some point in the winter, maybe. We'll see. So that is my finished objects. One for me, and all these are for my mom for Christmas next year. One pair down. I usually like to make her 4 pairs. I probably could make her more, but at least 4 pairs. Cool. All right, whips. Guess what this is? If you were a longtime viewer, you know what this bag means. This is Bags by Awesome Granny. I love it. This is my Scrappy knitting bag. Mostly socks. Scrappy socks. That's what this is. And I have a half object. Oh, I gotta leave these out because that's my plan for my heel and my gusset. Stuck on my shawl. These are also a gift. I'm getting ahead of the game. Oh, look at these. I'm only mildly concerned about this gusset. I mean, it's not a big deal. So I picked one of, this is Opal. Opal Advents from 2022 and 2023 mixed together from Purple Circle Yarn Co. So I picked out a larger, one of the newer minis for the gusset because I didn't want to change colors. I could change colors if I want. I just didn't want to be bothered. So when I picked one out, it looks like it was like a big solid-y chunk of not really self-striping. But it's fine. I still think it's beautiful. Love it. And this one I did 15 rows of knit 2, purl 2 rib. So I did a different color for just the heel flap and the heel turn, and then I did a whole color for the gusset, and then the rest I just striped how I see fit. So these are for Amy, Happy Yarn. I'm gonna try this year, Amy, to like put a band around it that says what the yarn is, because you open it on your Vlogmas and you're like, what is this? And then I'm thinking, what is that? Because I don't remember, because I knit your stuff so far in advance. Like, these are gonna be for you for your birthday. So I might forget what that is by June. So maybe I need to put a band on it. It says it's Opal Scraps. We'll see if I remember. And here is the second sock. If you're curious about my markers, I will link a video down below, but I take them off the first sock, put them on the second sock as motivation and also to get them to match. So I am ready for the heel flap on this. I did 50 rows for the leg and 15 rows for the cuff. I'm like, what is that? And the sock, the ends are all woven in. I timed myself. It took me 20 minutes. Now, I don't know if that was a lot of ends. I don't know how many different colors are in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, probably 12 different colors in this. So 12, and I have 1, 2, 3. I got 4 so far in this one. So I don't know if this will have. I got so excited with this purpley pink chunk that I just kept going. That's all one color. I'm like, we're just gonna use this till I get to the heel flap. And here are some of the said minis. I have a big giant bag of them. Oh, there's the tag. I love that. It says respect your knitting. I love her bags. And I'm gonna do this as the heel flap and the heel turn, and this is the gusset. Yeah, so I think this year a lot of them might not be self-striping, the opals. Or it's like, it's really hard to tell now. I was very good when I wound these up to like wind them up by stripes, so they look very self-striping, but I don't have any new ones in here. I just wound them up. I wasn't like, I'm not gonna be bothered to look at the color and make sure to flip it to make it look like a gobstopper, so I could see how much color stripe is this, or how long the stripe is for each color. But that is my plan. So I think I can have these done by the 1st. I mean, I got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 78-ish rows left. And that's including the gusset. I think I can do it. I got all day today, all day tomorrow, all day Sunday. That's 3 days. These will be done next time. And definitely done before the 1st. Follow me on Instagram and check out my stories. I have been posting like progress updates for the day. If you are into the Instagram. I haven't been really using my feed. My normal feed is all like finished socks, and I don't know if I like that or not. But I feel like, yeah, I don't know how Instagram is funny. That's all I got to say about that. I mean, I posted my finished socks. I don't know if people are reaching me if I'm not posting regular pictures. I feel like that's probably the case anyway, because they want you to do reels. I don't know. So anyway, follow my stories on Instagram. I usually do updated daily updates if you are curious. All right, guess what I started? Oh, it's my yarn pillow. This is a Della Q snapback. Yep. I believe you can get these on Jimmy Bean's website. I don't know about this rainbow one, but they have other ones on there. I cast on my DK Cozy Memories blanket, and oh my, I'm obsessed. I'm using signature needles that you can't get anymore. Sorry, I'm using US 4s. US 4s, you can't see that. Just believe me. US 4's 3.5 millimeter. I'm using the Coziest Memories blanket by Kemper Ray. I'm using the pattern on that exactly. I'm following the pattern. I'm doing 20 by 20 stitches. The pattern says 43, I think. Is it 43 or 46? I don't know. Something. Maybe it's 46. I don't know. Anyway, I'm doing 20 by 20 squares using a US 4, holding fingering weight double. I also have linked down below in my show notes. I have a project page listed down there for Ravelry that has all of the details. I'm obsessed. So I'm holding fingering weight double with itself. A lot of these are, I think most of these are row 1 minis. This one, this one, this one. This one is Lolo Did It Hippos for Christmas. So I had to put that one in there. That should have been my first square, but I got so excited and I'm like, ooh, let's do this blue one. And then I'm like, oh wait, it's Christmas. I wasn't gonna tear it out, so. And I think this one was from Amy, from her advent calendar she made me last year. I think it's a teal torch knits, but it is a bright rainbow. I love it. So I'm not sure how wide I'm gonna go. This is 5 squares. I am not gonna do 500 squares. It's gonna be way too big. I think my squares are like 3.5 to like 3 and 3.75. It's not quite 4 inches. It's in between there. 3.5 by 3.5, or like 3.75. So I'm not sure how wide I'm gonna make it. I'm thinking maybe 15. We'll do 10. This is 5. We'll do 10 and C. And then maybe I'll do 15. But yeah, my other cozy memories with fingering weight, I did 500 squares, but this is like, these squares are like an inch and a half bigger than my other ones, than my other squares. And we're like, no, we're not gonna do that because this is gonna be really squishy. This is so squishy. You guys need to cast this on, okay? I know this pattern turns a lot of people off because of the ends, but I'm saying, once I haven't woven any ends in yet because they're all on this top row, but when I start my second row, I'm going to start weaving them in. So do a square, like do this square, and then when you're done, just weave these 2 ends in. Or 4 squares. That's how I do it. 1 square here, 1 square here, then I weave these in. Do 2 squares, then weave this in. 2 more squares, weave these in. It's not that bad. I know some people just can't stand it, but for me, with this blanket, this is my like all-time favorite Scrappy blanket, and I don't care. I will weave these in. So, I don't think I have anything else to say, except I love it. And I talked about this last week. This is going to be my comfort knitting, and if I'm feeling stressed, I'm going to work on this. If I really am feeling like I want to buy yarn, I'm going to work on this. We'll see how this 2024 goes. This might be done. Or, I mean, I'm not going to work on it when I'm only stressed. Like today, I think I might put a square in because I haven't put one in for a couple days. Or definitely on Scrappy Sunday. But yeah, I was wanting to get row 1 minis. So then I added the square. It's like I miss my row 1 minis, but you know what? I'm trying to work through my scraps. If I work through all of my scraps, which is not going to happen, then maybe I'll get row 1 minis. But I love it. So yeah. And then there's the back side. in my Ravelry project page, I say what I do to make these V's, so it's easier to pick up stitches. I know some people do it the opposite way, and it still works out. So I slip one purlwise. This is for every row. For first stitch, I slip purlwise. I do what I need to do for the row, and then the last stitch, I knit through the back loop. And I do that for every row until I get to like the tippy top. At some point when I do my knit two togethers and my slip slip knit, I can't obviously do that, so I don't. So I just make sure when I pick up, that leaves me 18 V's, so then I just have to pick up 2 in that little top part. That makes sense. Don't know if that does. But yeah, I've heard some people do it the other way around, where they knit through the back loop and then they slip the last stitch. I don't know, either way, I mean, it works. I'm getting V's. So, I don't know. The magic of knitting. Alright, I'll stop showing that, but oh man. So I'm not sure if I'm going to show this like every week. Are you guys going to get bored of it if I show this every week for like the whole winter? I don't know. I guess if I put a couple squares in it, I'll show you, I guess. If I don't work on it for the whole week, then I won't show it. Alright, that is all of my whips. That's it. I am thinking about casting on January 1st the Marled Magic shawl by Stephen West. That is an MKAL. I really wish he would do more like Scrappy MKALs. I see why he doesn't, because, you know, he is a designer, he has his own yarn shop, and he wants to sell his, you know, he wants to sell kits. And if he tells people just use their stash, then there's, you know, not a money-making opportunity there. But I would love if he did more Scrappy MKALs. So that is the plan. I've been reading the pattern and looking through it. I don't know why I get so like, I can't do that. There is a brioche section. And I'm like, I don't know if that's what's holding me back from doing it, but I feel like I need to brush up on my brioche, because I have a feeling that the MKAL in October is going to have brioche. And it's been a couple years since I've done it. So I don't know. I don't know why I'm like this. I look, you know, I think I just read through his patterns and I'd get like overwhelmed by all of the sections, and it's dumb. So what I need to do is just get to section 1 and just look at it. And I look at it and the pattern is like, it's like 2 rows. It's like, all right, I can do that. And then I just need to go to the next section. I just need to focus on it like that, instead of looking at it and going, oh, that one looks hard, I can't do that. I always do that with his patterns. I don't know why. It's silly. I don't need to. How many patterns have I knit of his? I can do it. So I'm thinking about casting that on January 1st. And I'm going to do scraps, because it's made for scraps, and it's the Knit All the Scraps KAL. And it's part of the Knit All the MKALs, so it's like 2 birds with 1 stone here. So you might see that as a whip. I don't know yet. I'm kind of liking like just working on socks, so I don't know. We'll see what January 1st brings. This might be a project that's on my needles for a long time. I don't have any goals about doing a particular number of MKALs of his for the year. I think I would like to do 3 or 4. And it's been a long time since I've made a shawl, so maybe I just need to get it on the needles, work on it here and there. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it. So that is my one cast on, and my next sock project, or my next sock cast on, I think is going to be this. Now, I just knit this yarn not too long ago, if you remember. This is the West Yorkshire Spinners This is the Nutcracker colorway. I made myself socks with this, and my mom's like, I want that. I like those. So I bought another skein for her. So I'm thinking I kind of want to work, I mean, I just worked with this color, but I think I finished these like the end of November. But I don't know if I want to work on these like in March. It's feeling, this is a Christmas colorway for this year, but and I want her to have them for Christmas or as a Christmas present. So I think I'm going to cast these on. Here's my next. You know, I was thinking about the socks that I just made, giving them to her, and then I can make this next year for myself. It's a possibility, but I wore them already, so I don't know, is that weird? It's probably weird. I wore them already, so maybe I'll just make these. Yeah. So I think this is going to be my next sock whip. Stay tuned next week, or stay tuned on my Instagram to see if I actually decide on this. If I cake it up, I'm going to do it. I always cake up commercial yarn because knots. It happens. Not too much with this brand, but I hate knots. I hate knitting and finding knots. It's most irritating. I'd rather find the knots when I'm winding it up than knitting it. Especially if I'm trying to keep like the striping sequence the same. So I'll probably wind this up, split it in half, so that I can cast on both cuffs at the same time, or work them tandem maybe. I don't know. Probably if they're not going to match. So I think this is going to be my next cast on for sock. And that's it. Okay, I got reading and watching. That's it for the knitting, is what I'm talking about. That's all the knitting, all the planning. I do not have like big knitting goals. I usually don't do knitting goals. I like to just keep track of, I'm going to keep track of my grams in and out. I'm going to really, really try. This is going to be the challenging part this year. I talked about it last week, to only do my 3 clubs and maybe 1 advent skein and maybe 1 advent. And that's it. That would be drastically less yarn from what I have bought this year. I think this year it averages, now some of those are advent skeins. I think it was 70, somewhere, I think it was 78, 75, 78 skeins that I have purchased this year. So if I keep to my schedule or my goal or whatever I was thinking of, it would be, I don't know, it depends on what advent I get. It'll be like 40-ish skeins. Maybe 48. Somewhere around there. So that would be a big improvement. I don't know. You know, things happen. So that's another reason why I have the cozy memories. Yeah, I don't know what 2024 is going to bring, so we'll just see. I know a lot of us say we have so much yarn, and it feels like towards the end of the year I always feel like this. It's like I have too much yarn, I need to stop. And I think this year I was very good for like January, February, March, and then the advents start coming out, and it's gone. I lost it. And then towards November, December, I was getting overwhelmed again. So it's like, why do I do this to myself? So yeah, that's the only challenging goal for me. I'm not going to say I want to knit X amount of socks. I say that I wanted to do 3 to 4 MKALs. If I only do 2, I don't care. That's fine. I'm not going to push myself to do it. If I am in the mood to knit a shawl, I will. If I don't want to, then I'm not gonna. I also like to keep going with my mystery skeins. So this is going to be a gift for my mom. And I'm just trying to think if I should knit these for my mom. Knit another pair for Amy in January. And then when I finish those two, maybe I will grab one of these mystery skeins for me. I'm trying to knit a pair for Amy, one pair every month. She has socks for her birthday and for Christmas. But with a lot of time with my gift knitting, I'm just like, I want to finish it. I just want to keep going. I want to keep going. And I do like a lot of them all together. So we'll see. All right. So yeah, I don't do a make 9. I don't do any of that. I just, if there's a new shiny pattern and I want to cast it on, I will. And if I have the yarn for it, I will. So that's the plan. I have yarn for the Starflake. I was really considering that one too, but I think I want to do the Scrappy one first. And then I found in my stash while I was digging, I bought a Hue Loco 50 gram. There's 10 colors, 50 grams each. Skeins. Fingering weight in my stash. It's like one of her collections. I don't remember which one it was. And I think that is going to be a painting bricks. That's another one of his MKALs. That's the other. I have that yarn. I'm not sure if it's going to be the painting bricks, because there's a lot of colors in it. I feel like painting bricks would be better than like some of his other ones. So those are the 3 MKALs that I have yarn for in my stash. So yeah, I'm just rambling. I'm sorry. Are you guys still with me? A lot of times I feel like this podcast is me like talking out loud my knitting plans and thoughts, because my husband doesn't care and my kids don't care. They could care less. So this is me talking out loud about, you know, my process here, my thought process. All right, reading and watching. I'll have to update my show notes. I always type up my show notes before I actually record. And after we did this, we finished some stuff when we restarted some stuff. So I'll have to update that if I remember. So my husband and I watched The Dark Crystal on Netflix, season 1. I don't know if I'd recommend that. It's the Jim Henson Muppets. I love the colors, and I love the puppets and their costumes and their, you know, their unique species. But the story just didn't. I mean, in the beginning it was really hard to get into, and towards the end I'm like, okay, I get it. But I don't know if it was my favorite. It was okay. It was only 10 episodes. A little violent for puppets towards the end there. So I don't know if I'd recommend it to kiddos. Yeah, it was a bit gory towards the end. So we finished that. And I finished Doctor Who Season 5. This is the 2nd Doctor. I have one more season of the 2nd Doctor, and then I go on to the 3rd. I am watching these on Tubi, Tubi. That's a free streaming service. It has ads, but normally I don't like watching ads, but when it's free, I will stick it out. And this has been like on my bucket list of watching all of the old Doctor Who's, like from beginning to end. So I'm hoping that they're on Tubi long enough for me to finish them. And I started Doctor Who Season 6. And we started watching 6 Feet Under Season 2. We started like the first episode. My husband has not been feeling well the past couple days, and I think he's feeling better now, so we'll see if we can watch some TV today. We started watching it like halfway through and he's like, I have to go to bed. So he just went to bed. So I watched a lot of Doctor Who yesterday, so that was nice. Reading, I am still reading A Court of Mist and Fury. I'm still plugging away at The Court of Thorns and Roses. I've read these, like the first 3, and I don't remember anything. I don't remember any of it. Like the first book, I remember a little bit of it, but the second one, I don't remember anything. So maybe I didn't read it, and I said I did. Maybe a lot of times, like if I'm reading at night, I kind of like skim read, and I probably miss a whole bunch. So maybe that's why I don't remember any of it. So I'm reading that on my Kindle. And that's it. Life stuff. Christmas was rough. It was rough, guys. Remember I was talking about last week, I was like, I was hearing my daughter cough a lot. Well, she got like round 2 of whatever this crud is that is plaguing my house. You know, my youngest got it, then I got it. I thought that my oldest got it too at the same time. I guess she didn't. Maybe she got it after I did. Maybe it's a whole new round of something. I don't know what's going on. My husband is not. He's having different symptoms, so it's something totally different. I don't know what it is. He was feeling really, really dizzy and nauseous. So obviously that's not a cold like what my daughter has, or COVID or RSV or whatever it is. I don't know. So we had grand plans to have the kids over at my parents and the grandparents, or my in-laws and my parents, and that did not happen. We were gonna stay the night on Christmas Eve, but my oldest daughter was not feeling well, so we came home and then we drove back on Christmas Day. I was just like, I just wanted to stay home. Can we just stay home? Oh my word. So it's been a rough week. Oh my. So far I am not sick, so hopefully that stays that way. It's like I have just got over that, whatever it was, like 2 weeks ago. I do not want to get it again. So I am just going to relax and keep on knitting. I don't have any plans today besides knitting. I gotta finish up laundry, but that's it. And it's, what time is it? It is 9:38. I forgot to tell you what time it was when we started. It was like 8:30ish, because we're at like 47 minutes. 8:45ish. Yeah, so hopefully this week will be better. My kids don't go back to school until January 8th, so they have a whole another week, and oh my word, I can't. Another, trying to not purchase yarn when things get bad. It's very, very difficult. So far I've been good. I've been practicing, trying to retrain my brain to just knit instead of buying yarn. Okay, I think I'm done rambling on. I hope I need to say, like in the beginning of the episode, I need to say like, all right, get out your project, put in a progress keeper, and then see how far you get done while you're watching me talk about nonsense and my knitting projects, and just see how much you get done. But since this is the end of the episode, it's probably too late. I hope you got a lot of knitting done. I hope that you are all doing well. I hope that the holidays were okay-ish for you. I know they were rough for me. They were rough for me this year. I don't know. Didn't know what it is. We did not get any snow. There is no snow on the ground. It was 53 degrees on Christmas and Christmas Eve. So if we had snow, it would have been gone. So yeah, that's the weather report. It looks like it's gonna rain today again. It's looking pretty gloomy and cloudy. Yeah, I think that's it. So I hope that, actually I already said all that. I hope you're doing well. If you have any questions or comments, I'll link them down below. I do love reading them. And send me all the healing vibes because I feel like I'm gonna need them this week. And hopefully I will see you next week. Bye.